James Tapp, aka Soulja Slim, to casual fans around the world, aka Magnolia Slim, to the streets of the NO. Majority of you will probably associate Slim with the Magnolia and the Magnolia only. The truth is, the Nolia wasn't the only place that Slim would live. Miss Linda would also have a crib on the Parkway. Coming up in the 90s as a teen, Slim was wilding in the streets. Is famously known for coining the phrase, "It's crucial in New Orleans. If you're in the streets and off the porch and live past 94, you're a gangster." The keywords to that statement are, if you were in the streets and off the porch and live past 94. Don't get that twisted with just because you're from New Orleans and live past 94, you're a gangster. If you wasn't in the streets like that, just be happy to be alive and stay in your lane. Being to the penitentiary and running hard in the streets ain't nothing to be celebrating. These EPs document the history of the streets from a New Orleans perspective, good, bad, and ugly. If you're not from the NO, let me put you on game about Tower Lane.
A man's dead after an overshooting in New Orleans East. Police say this happened just about 11 o'clock last night on Terra Lane. That's in the Westlake Forest neighborhood, not far from I-10. Officers say they found the man when they arrived at the scene. No other details have been released.
Westlake Forest, a small neighborhood located about 8 miles northeast of the French Quarter, was about that life. True to its name, Westlake Forest is located a few miles west of Bourne Lake. The neighborhood also rests directly below Lake Pontchartrain and has several small canals, marshes, and parks like Joe Brown Park, which was in its heyday a popular spot for canoeing and playing sports. Westlake Forest would also provide a low-cost way of living for residents of the city. It will once feature a variety of affordable to mid-range apartments, townhomes, and condos for rent. Poverty-stricken environments would be a rest haven for crime. Although the East would once be considered as a nice middle-class area, it wouldn't be long before the tides would start to shift. That whole little area of Westlake Forest was just like any other hood in the city. Jacking, crushing, and hustling was going down on the regular. Females was even getting it how they live, pumping that saw, that hard, and that Doochie. Cripple Emma and Big Ree, just to name a few. Slim even used to run with Big Ree, putting off acts, getting full of that girl. If you know, you know. Tower Lane was wild in the 90s. It was going down like 4 flat tires. Unbeknownst to many, Kenyatta used to be round Slim in the 90s. Kenyatta Ruth, aka Low Key, them boys didn't just jump on music together, they actually ran the streets. Low Key and his partner Kermaine, aka Cool, was bout that action. Stank and Turtle, 2 OGs off Tower Lane, would even take to social media to run an ep about Slim. In his teen years, Slim would encounter a lot of beef. One of those beefs will be with Lil Livers, who ran on the dark side, who had ties in the yo. Slim's beef with Lil Livers would lead to Slim being hit up in front of Miss Linda. Slim had to be around 18 to 19 years old at the time. If my memory serves me correctly, he was actually 18. Still not fully recovered from his wounds, Slim would still be in the streets, ducking off on Tower Lane, going back and forth from the east to uptown. It was on Tower Lane where Slim would run into another beef. This would be during the time Slim was rocking with Hype Enough Records. If you know anything about the NO, all that talking crazy and making empty threats ain't happening without repercussions. Slim would end up getting into it with a dude from the east who was rocking with his ops from the dark side beef. Slim, who had just been hit up, was determined not to let anybody play with him like that again. Slim was hard pressed about getting his respect on the street, and he would earn it at any and all costs. It was alleged that Slim would punish dude. Years later, Slim would reference the Tower Lane incident on his The Streets Made Me album.